This is day 217 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, and today we are doing Siman Kuf Nun Vav. That's the middle of Hilchos Masamatan Vav till Siman Kuf Nun Vav Sif Yud Gimel. Okay, Kuf Nun Vav will be finished tomorrow, not today. As my shutaf from Micha Berger said to me, this probably the most important siman in all of the four Turim of Shulchan Aruch. How to live. Okay. So we are again up to Vav. It's a positive commandment to cling to the Beit Chachamim Talmidim, to cling to Chachamim and their Talmidim. Or to learn from their actions. I forgot to say at the beginning. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming share more Choshech, please contact me directly. So it's a mitzvah to connect them with Chacham and the Talmidim to learn from their deeds. This it says in the Chumash, "Uvoti bak," connect to Hashem. Shekom medapi Chacham, anybody connects to Chacham, Chacham is dapi Shechin, it's as if he's connected to the divine presence. Therefore, a person should attempt to marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham, and marry his daughter to a Talmid Chacham, to eat and drink a Talmid Chacham, and to do business on behalf of a Talmid Chacham. This is what it says in Masechet Avos. Sit in the dust at their feet, and drink with thirst their words. As Chaim Volozhiner has a very temshada, have a misavik, but for a game, this is misavik is mishon havkut, wrestling, like Vayavi Kimo Yishimo Aralos Shachar, and he says you should wrestle with your Rebbe and question him and challenge him, but at the same time make sure to remain in the far humble and never to be too arrogant. Zayin, mitzvah lehovas kol echad miYisrael kegufo. It's a mitzvah to love every other Jew like yourself. Shneimar, v'after kamocha, love your friend like yourself. Pichot, therefore, tzarich l'saper b'shivcho, you have to tell over his praises. And be careful, take care of his money. K'moshe said, b'chavod atzmo, just like you want your own honor, v'chasamon atzmo, and a concern with your own money. V'skai b'kon chaver, somebody who takes cover by mocking his friend. No portion will to come. It doesn't mean, the Arukh HaShulchan says you love him like yourself, like your soul. Divide up your money with him 50-50. This is not written in this. It's interesting. Cloud, it's not written in this topic at all in terms of wealth or the material stature. It's Dachra, this pasuk of after Echad is amongst psukim such as it's allowed in the low tug chil, not to tell gossip, lotisnod, not to hate one's brother, lotikom, do not take revenge or other form of retribution. Shmamina, so the derivation of that placement is that don't do anything bad to your friend. Have said mamon, and so this is talking about specifically where you're not losing money on that account. He says the brackets nearly. It's his own pshat, because it's interesting because yes, they say man I've never seen anybody say that we learn out from the placement of the pasuk among Laban. For other a person who's wicked, who does not accept rebuke, mitzvahs and also it's a mitzvah to detest him. David Melech said, those who detest you, I detest as well. Which is from Lagos Minus. It says here in brackets, for Rizal Kasav Kabo come and feel mitzvah sheva after Recha Kamocha. It was for davening to accept the mitzvah after Recha Kamocha, and only then to go progress to davening. Ches Ava Sager. Here's a bit of censorship. It says B'Yamim Karmonim. They didn't want the authorities to think they're encouraging Gerus in 19th century Navardik. Anyway, Avas, the love of the ger, Sheba Nichnas Halas Kan Shechina, who comes under the wings of the Shechina. Shtei mitzvahs say has two positive commandments. Achas v'neshu b'chlau reim. First was including all your other friends. But achas v'neshu ger, and there's a special command because of the ger. Shneimar v'ahavtem es hager, love the ger. Chosei echad miYisrael over below tasei. Anybody who hates any Jew is transgresses a prohibition. Shem lo tisas achicha b'yovavecha. Do not hate your brother in your heart. They looking at labzeh. You don't get flogged on this mob. Because there's no deed involved, it's an attitude. If somebody commits an iniquity against you, you should not hate him and remain silent. But rather take it up with him and say to him, why did you do this to me? This says, rebuke him for what he did wrong. If then he turns around and asks for forgiveness, you have to forgive him. It should not be cruel. It says, Avram El Elokim. Avram daven for Elimelech to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Avimelech did him a disfavor with no reason. He forgave him. Also daven for him. We as descendants have to seize on to the midos of our ancient forefather. Test. Somebody sees his friend that he's sinned. He's going a bad pathway. It's a mitzvah to get him to tshuva. And to tell him that he is sinning. As it says, you should probably rebuke your friend. But you have to do the tochacha in private. The Rebbe Banach speaks to him in a pleasant way, v'loshen raka, and softly. Keep him mutav. If he accepts the rebuke, that's great. If not, you should rebuke him the second and third time. You have to continue to rebuke him in the proper way until he protests against you. Protests vehemently against you. You have to give tochacha to the point that the other guy is going to go start hitting you because he's annoyed at the tochacha. But not past that. The Mishnah Berurah brings down both opinions. It says you can rely on the smag, who's the one who said, evidently, yes, the one who said that the shear is not actually a kenu, but actually in zofo. So it's a kula. If you can protest the sin and you do not protest it, he is responsible. He's grabbed and punished for those who he could have rebuked them and gotten them to do tshuva. If he's not sure if they're going to accept the words, you have to rebuke them. But if he knows for sure not going to listen, Patori is exempt from reproving them. But Tov Shishto, it's best to be quiet. Smag says, if the person who intends to give the rebuke has no doubt, they're not going to accept his rebuke. And at this point, at least the people transgressing, violating the halacha, are doing it with some measure of shogeg, unawares, unintentional. But so actually, it's could be it's good to it. So it's a little bit different than I read before. In Barlo, if he's sure not going to accept it from him, the overim shogegim, and the people who are doing the aver are shogegim, totally stoked. Especially because silent, like it says of the chule, harchem yisrael mutav shu shogegim. Leave the Jews alone. It's better that they be shogegim than they be mazidim, which would happen if you warned them. Avol, however, ima overin mizidin, the people who transgress are doing it deliberately. Barlo shlei kablu, and it's clear they won't accept it. Avol should put to be einish, even though he's exempt from punishment because he's not מוכיח them, כל מקום מהעשה תוכיח לא מפטר. He's not exempt from the mitzvah say giving them rebuke. V'ani omer, and I say, this is often Smag speaking, ki ab mazinim tzur l'shtok. Even if they're saying deliberately, you still have to remain silent. Kamiyam b'yamas, like it says, I think actually, yeah, it's still Smag. Kamiyam b'yamas, like it says, just like it's an obligation, a person says something which will be heard. Kach, so too, chova, it's an obligation. Not to say something which is not going to be heard. Shenemar, it says, do not rebuke a scoffer, lest he detest you. Koshki, not telling, there's certainly Akal Shon Smak. That's the end of the quote from Smak. But that's what he's showing out. The first opinion that it's only with Shoigeg, you don't do Tochacha. You'd ask Rabbi Elazar Mimetz B'Sefer Reim. Because Ata, I was saying Rabbi this rabbi because it's only day when there's much heresy in the world, then Shakla Tochacha is really not possible to rebuke people in an effective way. Then it's because you shouldn't argue with a Jew who went off the derech, the Pakar Tfei, because he goes far off the derech, more further than a non-Jew. Sanhedrin. So he says that nowadays that since people have Pikorsim, the Tochacha is not necessarily going to work and should be avoided because Tochacha presumes you believe in God, and this is the ramifications of which God meted out if you continue Aveda. But if you don't believe in God, the fact that there is no way to do Tochacha in that way. Okay? Because the basis of the Tochacha is undermined. That's why somebody like that is the Poker Yisrael is not approached because, as you said, this Rabbi Apikorsus. It's much Apikorsus in our day and age. Somebody who rebukes his friend should not speak with him harshly to the point that he embarrasses him. It says, "V'lo tisol of chet, do not bear upon him a sin," meaning don't make him bear an additional sin as a result of your rebuking. The Chachamim interpreted and Sifra Kedoshim, can you rebuke him even at the expense of his face turning colors? No, do not bear upon, cause to be born upon him on his face, his sin. You see now it's embarrassing the truth. It's certainly not in public. But I was saying, look at the lab say, even though you don't get makus on this, it's a great sin. What's the point to say? Because the red blood to drain out of a person's friend. So it is his cheek is made white. So but he has no portion more to go. Therefore, person be careful, not to embarrass anybody. Barabim in public, bengo ben katan, no matter if he's a great or a minor figure. Don't call him the name he is embarrassed of. Even if he's become accustomed to it, you shouldn't call him by that name. And this Aver people go down to hell and never rise up. That's why you keep it quiet. But it matters it's concerned the honor of heaven. In below Shabbos says he doesn't do Juba in secret. We degrade him in public. And we publicize him. And we blaspheme against him. In front of his face. So you degrade him. I think my skip skips on here. Going back on line. You shame in public. Farsim also, and you publicize him. And you curse him. Bifonov in front of him. Mabazin also, and you degrade him. Also, and you keep cursing him. Until he goes back to do the right thing. Kader shows a call him in Yisrael, like all the Biyam in Am Yisrael's history did. If somebody's friend commit a sin against you, and you don't want to rebuke him, and nor to say anything to him, because the sin was very common. He was not mentally all there. And you, the person who slighted, are moichel in your heart. He didn't detest him, but he didn't reprove him. Harei Zemidas Chasidus. Zemidas Chasidus, not to say things which people are not going to hear. Hamastema. Okay, because I have a Rambam Sham. It says, I guess the Torah is only makbid that there be hatred among Jews. If there's no hatred among the Jews, there's no specific prohibition for which you have to try and get a person away. The base, a person has to be careful with orphans and with widows. They should nafsham shvela, because their souls are low, and their spirits are depressed. And even if they have money. Or even they're the widow and orphans of a rich person. We're warned about them. It says, do not afflict any orphan or any widow. You should always speak them softly. And treat them with respect. You should not hurt their bodies with toil, for libam, and their hearts with hard manners. And you have make sure to take care of their money. Yes, more than your own money. Anybody who teases them because it angers them or causes them pain. He caused them heart pain. Or he ruled over them. Or he lost their money. The koshkein hamakoso or makailon. Certainly, if somebody hits them or curses them. The labs local. It's true we don't get makos in this lab. On shomif rosh the Torah says even worse penalty. With somebody who does this is mevaze monos. Harei on shomif rosh b'Torah the chora piva rak yischem b'cherev. I'm going to get angry and kill you by a sword. Bris kusal lehem. There's a covenant with them. I'm on a C7. Shchaz Hashem sokim, as long as they cry out, hey nanim, they are answered. Shema says Shemo Eshmat Sakoso. I'm going to listen to his cries. But Medmar when the truth is machino some letzorach atzmo. Is if he tortured them for his own purposes. I know some they lam them Torah, but he tortured them in order to teach them Torah, which doesn't work so well nowadays. Or teach them a craft, or licham der kishor, or to take the steal in the right way. I raise them with it's okay. But nevertheless, this too has to be done with calm and with mercy. It's no makes it if it's a person orphan from his father, or from his mother. They must sign called an orphan for this purpose. So they don't require a full adult on which they can rely and who will deal with them. That's all things which he needs to do for himself. Like adults, that's when the parameter of Yosef falls off. Somebody says gossip about his friend. Over Lo Tasei, he translates Lo Tasei, Lo Selach, Lo Chil Ba'mecho, do not go as a gossip in your nation. Even though there's no Malchus on this lab, Ze Oven Godahu, it's a great sin. The Gorim Arukh HaShulchan Rabos Misrael causes a great many loss of great many souls in Amisrael. Kach Nismach Lo, that's why it says immediately there, Jason there too. Lo Saman Amrecha, don't stand on your brother's blood by gossiping. Tzemar, come learn my Ira Doiga Domi. Doiga was a great Gadol, but because he said Rechilus on David, therefore he ultimately lost all his learning. Ezu Rachel, who is called the Rachel Zeshetoin Dvorim, he takes a load of gossip, a load of words. He says as they go from person to person, and he says, Kach v'kach Omar Ploni, Kach v'kach Shamati Ploni. This is what so and so said. This is what I heard about so and so. Even though he's saying the truth. It destroys the world. And there's an even greater sin than this. This prohibition for Lashon Hara. Somebody tells over the shameful facts of his friend. Even though he says the truth. It's somebody who says a lie and trying to describe the friend Nikra. He's called Moti Shemra. Somebody who puts out a bad name, Al Chaver and his friend. But this Baal Lashon Hara who sits and says, Kach, Bekach, Osaponi, so did so and so do. Kach, also so and so were his forefathers. Bekach, Shemati, this is what I heard about him. And he says negative things. Man, this says, Yikares Hashem, L'chosif Sechalakos. Hashem will eliminate all smooth tongues. Rambam Lashon Hara Chamor Mechilus, because Rambam Lashon Hara is worse than Mechilus. Arrive it in his glosses, it's the opposite. And Sham, they're both bad. Yerushalmi, and the Mutar Lashon Hara Abai Machlokes. The Lashon Hara people who create fights. Yolim Mimaitzi the Tzadok. Learn from the story with Tzadok that he protested, I think against Tzadok about Sheva B'Mered Adonio. They used force in order to break up the Mered rebellion. The Kol Shekain Al Pokri Torah, and certainly that probably wasn't Stoking, but certainly people who released the Torah altogether, that for sure would be an issue of that for sure you'd be allowed to say Lashon Hara on that person. So we learned from the Ma'aseh with Tzadok Kohen Basheva that they said, so to speak, Lashon Hara Adonio, because he was a Baal Machlekes, and certainly on people who are removed the burden of the yoke of Torah from their back, they too, you Lashon Hara about them.